Welcome to the Immigrant in Law channel. If you have ever thought about living in Europe, you are probably wondering about the main question: how much does it cost? Today we are going to look at all the major expenses: rent, food, public transport and taxes. We'll try to give you the most complete overview possible. Stay tuned, it will be useful. Let's say you have decided to move to Europe and have started looking for a place to live. The most expensive cities are in Western Europe, especially in the capitals and megacities. In Paris, renting a studio starts from 1,000 to 1,500 euros. And if you want a larger apartment or live closer to the downtown, the amount can easily exceed 2,000 euros. In London, the situation is even more complicated: 1,500 to 2,500 euros for a small apartment. And that's without taking into account utility bills, which can add another 100 to 300 euros to the monthly expenses. Berlin offers more affordable options: 800 to 1,200 euros for a one-bedroom apartment. However, the demand for apartments is very high, and it is difficult to find a good option without a long search. Some neighborhoods have restrictions on rent increases, but competition is still high. In Central Europe, the situation is a little easier. In Prague or Warsaw, you can find an apartment for 600 to 1,100 euros, and in Budapest, from 500 euros. At the same time, the quality of housing can be different. In new buildings, the price is higher, but you can find budget options in old buildings. In Slovenia, for example, in Ljubljana, renting an apartment will cost 700 to 1,200 euros, which is comparable to prices in other Central European capitals. However, here the housing is often offered with utility bills already included, which simplifies budget planning. Southern Europe, cities such as Barcelona, Rome, or Athens offer accommodation for 900 to 1,300 euros per month. However, it is worth considering that summer tourist seasons can affect housing availability and prices. In seaside areas, rents become more expensive, while in winter you can find favorable offers. Eastern Europe remains the most affordable option. In Bulgaria and Romania, you can rent a studio for only 300 to 600 euros, and in smaller towns prices can be even lower. However, it is important to keep in mind that salaries in these countries are lower than in Western Europe. In some countries, there are special programs to support tenants. For example, in France you can get help from the state in the form of rent subsidies, and in Germany there is protection against price hikes. If you want to save money, it is worth paying attention to renting a room or living in the suburbs, where prices are much lower. Also popular are co-living, a shared accommodation in large apartments where everyone has their own room, but the kitchen and living room are shared. Food is one of the key budget items. Europe offers a wide range of both affordable and premium goods. Average amount spent on groceries in supermarkets: Germany, 50 to 70 euros per week. France, 60 to 90 euros. Spain, 40 to 60 euros. Poland, 30 to 50 euros. Slovenia, 50 to 80 euros. In Western European countries, grocery prices are higher, especially if you buy food in branded supermarkets. At the same time, in Germany, it is more profitable to buy in Lidl and Aldi chains, where discounts are often available. In Southern and Eastern Europe, for example, in Spain or Poland, you can save significantly by buying fresh fruit and vegetables at markets. In cafes and restaurants, prices can vary greatly. A cup of coffee, 1.5 to 4 euros. Lunch in an inexpensive cafe, 10 to 15 euros. Dinner in a restaurant, 20 to 50 euros. Fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, 8 to 12 euros. In Italy and France, combo meals are popular, when for 10 to 15 euros you can get a first course, a main course, and a drink. In Scandinavian countries, on the contrary, lunch rarely costs less than 15 to 20 euros. The cost of food also depends on preferences and lifestyle. A vegetarian diet in most European countries is cheaper than a diet with a lot of meat and seafood. In Portugal, Spain, and Greece, seafood is available at bargain prices, while in Central and Eastern Europe it is more expensive. It's worth considering that organic products and specialized foods, gluten-free bioproducts, can cost 30 to 50% more. However, in some countries, such as Germany and the Netherlands, the government actively supports organic production, which makes organic products more affordable. To reduce the food costs, it's worth buying food at farmers' markets, using supermarket discount cards, watch for promotions, and cook at home. Transportation is another important aspect. Public transportation is well developed in Europe, but its cost can vary from country to country and city to city. The average cost of a monthly pass: Berlin, Paris, 80 to 90 euros. Barcelona, 40 to 60 euros. Prague, Budapest, 25 to 40 euros. Ljubljana, Slovenia, 30 to 50 euros. Most major European cities have a zonal fare system. The farther you travel, the more expensive the ticket. For example, in London, the cost of a pass can exceed 200 euros if you need to travel between distant neighborhoods. Trains and buses between cities are also a popular way to travel. A high-speed train ticket between Berlin and Munich costs around 80 to 120 euros, while a bus ticket costs 30 to 50 euros. Budget airlines like Ryanair or Wizz Air allow you to travel around Europe for 20 to 50 euros, but baggage fees apply. In cities like Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and Berlin, it's more cost-effective to get around by bike. Bicycle rentals cost from 10 euros per day or 15 to 30 euros per month for long-term rentals. A car in Europe is a convenience, but also a significant expense. Gasoline prices range from 1.5 to 2 euros per liter. Parking in the city center can cost 3 to 6 euros per hour, and tolls and insurance add to the overall travel budget. Some countries, such as France or Spain, have toll roads on highways that can cost up to 10 to 50 euros for long routes. To reduce transportation costs, many people in Europe use combined passes that include access to the subway, buses, and trams. It is also advantageous to purchase tickets in advance, especially for intercity routes. Taxes are one of the most important expenses in Europe. Their level varies greatly from country to country and depends on income level, social status, and place of work. Average income tax rate: Germany, 30 to 42%. France, 14 to 45%. Spain, 19 to 47%. Czech Republic, 15 to 23%. Poland, 17 to 32%. Slovenia, 16 to 50%, depending on the level of income. In addition to income tax, most countries have social levies that are withheld from wages. For example, in Germany, they amount to 18 to 22%. In France, 15 to 25%. And in the Czech Republic, 11 to 15%. Health insurance is a mandatory monthly payment in most European countries. Its cost may vary. Germany, 100 to 400 euros per month, depending on public or private system. France, 20 to 150 euros. Basic insurance covers about 70% of treatment costs. Czech Republic, 60 to 100 euros, included in the social system. Slovenia, 50 to 120 euros. Basic insurance covers basic medical services, but additional options are paid separately. In countries with public healthcare, such as the UK and Sweden, healthcare is tax-funded and residents receive treatment for free or at a minimum flat fee. In other countries, such as the Netherlands and Austria, private health insurance is mandatory, but the government regulates prices to keep them affordable. Before moving, it is important to research the country's tax system, possible benefits and ways to reduce the tax burden, for example through tax deductions for children, rent or tuition. Moving to Europe is a real possibility for many people. One of the most affordable and fastest ways to move legally is to apply for Slovenian citizenship by repatriation. This process takes from 4 to 12 months, and thanks to the competent support of immigrant-in-law lawyers, it is possible to pass all the stages without difficulties and with minimal time. Immigrant-in-law helps you to collect the necessary documents, make an application, and go through all legal procedures so that you can get a European passport as soon as possible. Slovenian citizenship opens up opportunities to live, work, and do business in any EU country, as well as gives you access to quality healthcare and education. Contact us now and we will help you become a citizen of the European Union. All contact details are in the description of this video. To summarize, life in Europe can be expensive or relatively affordable. It all depends on the country, city, and lifestyle. Western Europe is more expensive, but with a high standard of living. Eastern Europe is more affordable, but with lower salaries and infrastructural features. Central Europe, including Slovenia, offers a balance between standard of living and costs, and becoming a citizen of this country can be a great option for relocation. What do you think? Which country would you like to live in? Write in the comments, share your thoughts and experiences. Support the channel with a like. Subscribe to not miss useful videos about immigration and life in Europe. Discover the world of opportunities with Immigrant-in-Law.